Hey everybody, we are back with another episode of Real Talks where we ask real questions about real estate. I got Mark Chan with me here again today. Let's fire off some questions.
All right, preparing your home to sell. What are some things that you just always recommend sellers to do before selling their home?
Number one is probably declutter. If you're probably in the mindset to sell your house anyways, you're gonna be moving. So let's get that out of the way. I always tell people when I walk into a house, whatever I see, this is like completely normal. Some people get a little bit shy. They're like, oh, it's like really messy or whatnot, but that's just how people normally live. But because we want to make the best first impression for a buyer or anybody walking through the property, we can't live like our normal lives. We got to make everything look perfect. So decluttering is always going to be the first thing. So I always tell people, especially if they've lived there for a really, really, really long time, they've probably collected things over the years that they don't use. My rule of thumb has always been, if you probably haven't touched it for 2 years, you will probably never touch it again. So either throw it away or put it in the garage where nobody's really going to see it. But I think that's probably where people should start first, is just get rid of the stuff that they've collected over the years, because if you're not gonna use it, you're gonna take it with your to your next house. You're probably still not gonna use it anyway, so make that decision whether you wanna keep it for memento's sake or just get it out of the way.
I know it's going to be case by case, but what are some things that you generally recommend when it comes to like improvements to the house? I think a lot of sellers are thinking, okay, should I spend this extra money to, change paint or change the flooring or something like that? Do you have like a general rule of thumb that you recommend to people?
I've never been a big fan of doing big remodels before you put a property onto the market. Just because for every dollar that you spend, you may not necessarily get that dollar back. If you do small repairs, so like mainly more like handyman stuff, if something is really wrong with the property that's like definitely not working or damaged, yeah, fix that. But say I'm gonna redo this whole kitchen to put it onto the market may not make necessarily sense. Because there's a couple different factors that come into play. One, if you're still living in it, it's gonna prolong the amount that you're gonna stay there. And if you're still making mortgage payments, that starts to add up. So after factoring mortgage payments plus the cost of the construction and the materials and everything like that, is it really going to make sense? I'd rather say let's do quick little fixes where you can get in and out within like a week or two, rather than drag it for like another 2 to 3 more months before you can finish the repairs.
And is this something that you provide in your service, kind of like advising sellers about things that they should or should not do in their homes?
Yeah, so I always like to do like a full assessment on the property when I first see it. So a lot of people are always asking, Kevin, how much is my house worth? Well, I don't know what the house looks like, so I need to physically come and take a look at it. And from there, then I'll use my eyes that I've, had for over the years, looking at different houses on what works, what doesn't work. And I'll give you my recommendations as to what you should do. Maybe some like must do's, some like okay do's, and then these are like optional. Of course, it is still always going to be up to the seller whether they want to do those necessary repairs or not, but we'll give them a full assessment and walk through of, okay, these are the items that you should definitely take care of. Hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And don't forget, smash that like button. See you guys next time.